Hello guys, welcome to episode 5 of Let's Play Primordia. If you remember last time we got mugged, kind of, or someone's mugged us of our, stole our Gospel of Man and then just threw it over this bridge. So we arrived in Metropol, but it wasn't a very warm welcome. So now what we're gonna do is go closer to the city center and just explore and see what we can find, and if maybe we can get into the tower where we suspect our power core is.
Apparently I'm not the only one who leaves lanterns in hard to reach places.
Okay.
Good old Crispin.
Shouldn't we go find that big tower boss?
That's what I just said. Okay, so there's that.
Quite
And
a
that's
tower.
the view we got of the tower before too, which is pretty big. But that is actually it, so let's keep going.
Hey, Tyra, over here.
Okay. I don't think you can actually see, but that dude just called us Tyro and said we should come over. But let's start where we're at. There's a yellow robot here.
Hey, Tyra, over here.
Okay, he's getting annoying. There's a bar here, so he's just trying to relax.
The
There's
mug
a mug.
belongs to the bar. It's a big blue cup.
Yeah, interesting.
Boss, I need that arm.
Crispin, it appears to be a self-aware robot.
Now I need it even more. Can you imagine? The adventures of Crispin and his arm. For once, I would have a sidekick. He would crack jokes, and I would say lame things like, "It appears to be a self-aware robot." Actually, on second thought, you can be the serious one, I'll be the sidekick.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, if you think about it, having a self-aware arm sounds really awful. It's like this syndrome where you can't control your arm, which sounds super annoying and is actually super annoying.
It's a price
I
list
think.
for the oils, solvents, and catalysts they offer here. At the bottom it says that all payments must be made through an account with Metromind, which I don't plan on opening. It's a price list.
Okay.
That arm robot appears to be the bartender here.
There's
They belong
balls
to the
here
bar.
too. Okay, so there's just, stuff to look at to get to know how things work. Wait, there were tabs here? Oh, there.
I'd have to buy something. They're taps for dispensing oil.
Okay, nice.
A big yellow robot.
Very informative. Thank you, Horatio. Can we talk
Boss,
to
even
this?
if there's some code to crack here so that we can understand what it's saying, I propose we just ignore it. Maybe, for once, the other robot can figure out how to communicate with us.
Agreed.
Okay, so there's a bunch of robots always running around,
Hey,
across
Tyra,
these
over
ways,
here.
but you can't really talk to
Oh,
them.
it's so cute.
It might make
I'm waiting for
noises.
the punchline.
What, can I like a cute little robot once in a while?
I doubt it.
I think they sometimes might make noises, but you can't talk to them.
Hey,
So let's
Tyra,
talk to the
over here.
dude that's just getting super annoying.
Hey, Tyro, you blow in off the dudes?
Tyro?
Prefer a newbie, huh? Look, let me tell you how it is.
How about you don't? I've had enough of this city already. All I want is my property back and a ticket home.
Ticket home. Fat chance, Tyro. Anyway, listen up. You wanna sell yourself to Metromind? Go ahead. You wanna trade that junk you brought in from the dunes? Leopold's your man. That floater there, I'll give you something special for him.
How special?
He's not for sale. The only thing you might have that I want is information.
Well, you know what they say. Talk's cheap. Ask away.
Okay, so this dude selling scrap, among other things. And he also said that we're not gonna get out of here. So let's just ask everything.
Who
Who
are
are
you?
you?
Name's Leo. Leopold Steeplebuilt, version 7. You?
Horatio No Built, version 5. And this is Crispin Horatio Built, version 1.
Leopold? Hey, you didn't build a lunatic named Ever Faithful, did you?
Do I look like I'd build someone named Ever Faithful Crispy?
Crispy?
Okay, so there's actually more. If you pay attention, he already Ever Faithful is named Ever Faithful Leo built, and his name is Leopold. So, it's pretty similar. Maybe, but there's another Leopold though, or Leo.
What are you selling?
Ordering, not selling. Metromine don't tax barter. Not yet, anyway. Come take a look.
Okay, so we can exchange our stuff for some of his stuff. And he has a water chip, a memory access device, a plug board, server unit, Half-Life stuff, although it's not completely red, a motor, a battery, a part, wow, that's very descriptive, a small motor, a finger, that's somewhat disturbing, a tape measure, a fuel cell, and something, abacus. I feel like I've heard that before, but I really don't know what it is. Okay, but I don't think we wanna buy or barter. Okay, so let's go with these two first, and then we ask about Metromind.
I was robbed when I came off the train. Some robot paralyzed me and stole my Gospel of Man.
Careful there, Tyro. If you read the rules, you'd have known Metromine don't take kindly to superstition. Under the refuge rule, you got 2 days to talk about make-believe man all you want. But actual writing about man, that gets tossed to the underworks with the rest of the trash and trouble.
How can I get it back?
Ha! You risk inhibitor faking on you, Tyro? You'd have to do some digging down in the underworks, which ain't exactly easy. And even if you find it, you'll just be sticking your finger in Metromine's socket. Like I said, she got no time for heretics, lunatics, and the like.
How about quick-witted levitators?
Don't think she cares for them either.
Okay, so he's saying there's something like the underworks where all stuff got tossed, and also that Metromind doesn't really care for religion. And I mean, obviously it makes sense if the robots had prohibited literature or not authorized literature, that it's not allowed in the city at all. So let's ask who the fuck Metromind is.
Who is Metromine? Ross Dan Bruin, you are Tyro. Metromine? Well, Metromine is Metropol.
The robot looks like Crispin in this one.
Shut down.
Oh, can't see my mouse.
Sure, a bunch of primordial machines. Arbiter enforced them all. The Warriors kept the records. Big old factor built just about everything from down in the underworks. And, well, there's another one, I think. Don't even remember his name. And Metromine, of course. She used to run the trains, but now she's got the whole show.
Where can I find her?
Like I said, Tyro, she is the city. So you found her already. Probably hopped yourself to her just to get here. Anyway, if she wants to talk to you again, you'll know.
Okay, so what he just talked about was that there were primordial machines, of which Metromind is one, that governed the city or parts of it. So you had Arbiter who enforced the law, Memorias who kept the records, you know, everything you just said. And that is gonna be something important for the future, but let's just ask everything else. So, no,
I'm
let's
looking
just
for
go
my
from there.
power core. It was stolen from my ship, the Unique, and I think it's being kept in that tower over there.
Great tower, you mean? Sure, it's probably in there, along with all the other generators and reactors and cores that keep the lights on.
How can I get it back?
If Metromine took it, you don't, Tyro. Her word is law. Arbiter's the only one who ever could have said otherwise. And he's been gone a long time. Getting to the courthouse, maybe you complete your case. After half a dozen other folks took their turns, that is. But you can't. The old judge locked it up tight. And who's to say you'll win, huh? My advice?
I don't want your advice. I want my
That's
power
right.
core.
Well then, good luck to you.
Okay, but apparently the city is under control of a dictator, which is Metromind. Or it seems like dictatorship. But let's
I'm
keep
looking
asking
for a
away.
big robot. It floats and has large claws and shoots lasers. Have you seen it?
That's a
It
pretty-
stole something of mine.
Sounds like
Intimidating description of a robot.
Scraper.
Worked for Metromine even before she ran the show. He was the one that blasted out the train tunnels under the city.
Where can I find him?
Now, how would I know that? That one goes where he wants. Maybe the Great Tower, maybe the tunnels, who knows? But I wouldn't go picking trouble with it, Tyro. Those laser scraper used for cutting granite can slice up that tin shell you're wearing like nothing.
Here, here.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, Horatio doesn't really care. He's like, I don't give a shit. I still wanna get revenge, and I don't even know what he wants to do, you know, because either he still has the power core, then of course it's gonna be hard, but you want to find him. But if he doesn't, then what you gonna do if it's just, you know, locked away in the tower?
How do I get into the tower?
You don't. Council members only. And the only ones still clicking are Metromind and Arbiter. And let me tell you, neither of them is one for bending the rules.
Okay, so we're not just gonna get into the tower. I think I'm gonna ask about Arbiter first, because he just mentioned
Tell me
it.
about Arbiter.
He's a member of the council. Heard he used to fight with Metromind day and night. Ran the courts. Or used to, back when we had him. One day he just sent his clerk Clarity down to the underworks and closed up shop. Ever since, Metromind says what the law is.
How long ago was that?
Who's counting?
Okay, so there was something about the underworks and law not being enforced by Arbiter anymore. So let's ask what the underworks are.
What are the underworks?
A whole mess of junkyards, canals, factories, smelters, facade, every kind of heavy machinery, all beneath the streets. Whole factory ran the place. Built just about everything in Metropol down there.
Ran the place. Who's in charge now?
Nobody. Not since Metromind pulled the plug on Factor. Whole place is full of junk and full of trouble. Or from a ladder, I'd have picked a clean.
Well, boss, at least we can scratch one detour off our list.
I don't think
one
so.
jump pile, seen them all.
Okay, so what is actually kind of disturbing about what he just said is how well, he mentioned that Metromind pulled the plug on Factor. You know, Factor is one of the Primordia machines, the one that was in charge of building everything. So she kind of killed him, and he just talks about it like it's like super casual. Okay, so okay, I don't know if you noticed that, but when he talked about Arbiter and the law and everything, then he said that he, I think, told one of his clerks, Clarity, to go to the underworks. So that's how we know the name, and now we're gonna ask about it.
Tell me about Clarity.
Clarity was one of Arbiter's law clerks. Real cool and calculating. Now,
Real cool.
Once heard say that a robot should have a recharge port fused just because of stolen power from Metromind. Anyway, word was she got in some kind of fight with the old judge and he sent her down to the underworks. Guess she's still down there stewing.
Okay, so she's pretty strict, you know, wanting to kill someone because he stole something. I'm gonna ask this
You
first.
don't believe in humanism?
If you ask him whether I believe in man, the answer's no. And you better not either. Not if you want to stay here.
But how can you not believe in man?
I'm a progressive, Tyrone. I believe in progress. Us robots improve ourselves. And that's how it's always been. First, there was a basic machine. And bit by bit, bite by bite, the machine built itself into all this. You and me and that little floater of yours, we're all cogs in that same machine. And that's all there is.
Okay, maybe that, you know, maybe you recognize that sort of view. But let's ask about, actually, I'm not sure if we want to do that just now. But since I do not remember, and I would if I would play this, you know, the first time, I'm just gonna ask.
Are you sure you don't know a robot named Ever Faithful? He called himself Leo Built.
I'm a peddler, Tyro, not a builder.
Okay, so that is actually it. I mean, we already saw stuff.
Goodbye.
So let's look around a bit more.
All storage bladders empty.
I guess that's a good thing.
Usually is.
I'd keep my distance, boss. He could spray you at any moment.
Armstrong, top me off, will you?
Okay, so that was the yellow robot. There's a window
Better just to
here.
leave it alone.
There's also a metal plate.
It's too heavy for me to lift.
So this is actually where you can go to the underworks. You can see parts of a ladder here.
Fine, fine. Put me
If you
down for
could
another
lift the metal
appendicitis.
plate. And there's an info kiosk, which is this. Welcome. Metromind welcomes you to our city of Metropol. The city is a safe haven for all machines. System records indicate that you have come from Outskirts Station. All newcomers are required to familiarize themselves with local laws. You may also be interested in our history and landmarks. Okay, so this is an info kiosk where you can type in words, and then if there's an entry, you can look at it. And if you remember, Leo also talked about refugee rule, under which you can talk about men for 2 days, or whatever entity you wish to talk about. And if you don't stop, then you're gonna get, I don't know, thrown into the underworks too. So usually the fact that it's capitalized means this is something you can enter into the kiosk, so let's do that. I'm just gonna tell you, there's a lot you can enter here, and I think I want to look at most of them. I don't think I even remember all of them, or it's not that easy to find all entries. But it's definitely not something we're gonna do now, so we're just gonna, you know, look around a bit now. Okay, wait, did I stop? Oh. Ah, yeah, right, that's right. When you type laws, you also get
look, something came out of the machine.
print out. So let's take a look at the printout, which we do not have. Okay. Metropolitan law. Metropolitan law is too vast for an ordinary robot to learn in full. But Metromind ensures that it is applied efficiently and fairly. Yeah, sure. I believe that completely at any moment. Newcomers to the city should familiarize themselves with the corrupt data elimination plan, topic CDEP. Okay, that's probably the plan under which, I think it is the plan under which our gospel also got thrown into the underworks. And the refuge rule, as well as the efficiency initiative. Okay, so let's look up CDEP. Corrupt data elimination plan. In order to protect the city from corrupt data, Metromind and the Ad Hoc Robot Council passed the CDEP, under which all information relating to certain untrue subjects, such as the mythological man, is subject to swift elimination. Physical media containing such data will be disposed of in the Underworks quarantine zone. I'm not even sure if we can go back. Ah, yeah, nice, we can. So let's look up the refuge, if I can write it correctly. Refuge rule. Immediately following the Primordium, Metropol enacted the refuge rule, under which any robot is welcome in the city. In fact, for the first 48 hours after a robot arrives in Metropol, it will not be punished for violations of any laws except for harming another robot or causing significant property damage. It goes on a bit. The purpose of this law is to provide an integration period during which newcomers can make whatever modifications are necessary to operate within metropolitan society. It's reasonable. I can get with that. Okay, so that doesn't work. Okay, what else was there? There was something about an efficiency initiative. Okay, can I write this correctly the first time? Efficiency initiative. Oh, nice. Okay, so the efficiency initiative was enacted by Metromind following a period of power shortages caused by systemic failures of city planning. Metromind reorganized the city along progressive ideals, closing off entire areas and consolidating the population in the city center. Moreover, Metromind identified and eliminated wasteful practices and inefficient robots. Oh, you know, you like inefficient practices, okay, and then inefficient robots. It's pretty drastic. In order to show his commitment to the common good, Factor volunteered to deactivate himself. That's not what the other guy said, you know, he said she pulled the plug on him, and not that he volunteered to deactivate himself. And many similarly obsolete robots followed suit. Since the initiative was enacted, power levels have been stable, but Metromind is always looking for progressive means of improving efficiency. Okay, so they're kind of low on power, so they have to try to get the most out of what they have, and Metromind does not seem to be, you know, the nicest robot, whatever. Okay, so what else was there? I think it also talked about history and landmarks on the first page, if I remember correctly, so those two we're still gonna look at. And then done here for now. Okay. Metropol was built in layers by primordial robots, each generation improving on the last in an endless train of progress. At one time, the city was governed by a council, but by mutual agreement, I'm sure, sole power was bestowed upon Metromind, for whom the city is now named. That's actually interesting. Did it have another name beforehand? I mean, Metropol is pretty similar to Metromind, but wasn't that its name in the first place? Okay. Let's go to landmarks. In order to conserve energy and improve efficiency, only the city center is now accessible to metropolitan robots. Here one can find the famed council tower rising high above Metropol. So that's, I mean, makes sense if only the council can get into the tower. That is called the council tower. The old courthouse and the historic central station, as well as Metropolitan's main street, which I guess is where we're at right now. For safety's sake, do not enter the underworks. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, this is close if we type exit. Huh, interesting. And here is a printout that we got when we entered law, I think, or refuge room, something like that.
The Law
Let's take
and
a
You,
look.
a Metropolitan Guide. It's written by Clarity Arbiter Build.
Okay, can we look at
The
it?
Law and You.
Can't, but it was built by Clarity Arbiter Build. So the clerk that Leopold talked about earlier. I don't know if there's anything else here, but I don't think so. So let's go this way. This is where the tower
Well,
is
boss,
situated.
somewhere in there is our power core.
It is. And well, of course, there's a door, but we can't get
Anybody
in.
home?
You know, boss, I don't think that's ever going to work.
You never know.
Maybe it will work someday. Okay, so I'm not quite sure if you could just do this now. But theoretically, you know, you're gonna do several puzzles that will give you parts of the number that you have to put in here. So if you already knew it, you could probably just go in. Not sure what would happen then. I mean, okay, no, well, whatever. Anyway, you need to put a number in there in order to get in. So you don't need to be part of the council as such. You just have to know the password or the password code, but we don't know, so we can't get in. There's a track here too, though,
It's far too high to try climbing.
which is too hard to try climbing.
Some kind of track running up the side of the tower.
Yeah. Okay, so you just look at it, whichever button
Looks
you
like
click.
someone tried shooting the door, but the damage is entirely superficial.
Amateurs.
Okay, someone shot this door apparently. Don't really know why yet, but that is it. So let's go. So we can't go into the tower. That's where we're gonna go in later into the game. And I think as the last thing we do, we're just gonna check out the next location here.
Hey, boss, look! That repair bot has a floating helper just like you do.
There's a red, burning, crashed hover bus and a writhing electrical cable. And that's the first thing you notice?
I can't help it. She's beautiful.
Well, you're not getting to her until we deal with this cable.
I don't know if you saw that, but he just had hearts in his eyes, which is kind of funny. So he's referring to this floater, which is of course beautiful, as you can see. Look at those lights and that antenna and the color of her
Look at her,
coating.
boss. She's like a star in the heavens.
That's a light bulb, Crispin.
Well, it must be incandescent because she's making my circuits awfully hot.
Okay. So, but Horatio is right. There's lots of other stuff here that we can look at,
I can't safely grab it.
like this cable.
The bus must have snapped the cable on the way down.
Okay.
Given the electricity it's spitting out, I can't get close to it.
Too bad we can't just plug it into the unique.
Okay, so he can't do anything about the cable, but Crispin can, you know, push it
Crispin,
away.
can you fly around the cable and push it off the street?
But didn't you just say it's too dangerous to get close to it?
Okay.
Giving you a chance to impress her, Crispin.
Dispensable?
Just fly up high enough that you don't get close to the sparks.
Fine.
Easy. I don't even know why you complained. Okay, so there's also a crash bus here. And these guys are just, you know, always walking around. So let's take a look. Hello, floater. insightful. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Can't you see I'm working?
I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You do know this ship is never gonna fly again, right?
You're right about that. This old airing bus could hardly fly to begin with. Still, there might be some parts here that Metromine can use to get another bus up and running. Anyway, what do you want?
Hey, boss, ask him about his helper.
Yeah, sure. That's the first thing I'm gonna ask. Okay, actually, that is the first thing I'm gonna ask.
My friend is curious about your helper.
Alright.
No, she's just a sidekick
Talk about it.
Factorville. Fellas has ever rolled off the assembly line back in the day, but she's probably the only one left.
Sidekick.
Really not much more than a floating lantern, and headlamps are a lot cheaper.
She says you're not much more than a floating plasma torch.
She's right.
Huh. Okay, so let's
What
ask this
happened here?
first.
What does it look like? The airing bus's motor gave out and it crashed into the only branch leading from Main Street to the rest of the city center.
Was
How
anyone on board?
convenient.
Sure, but they've already been salvaged.
Salvaged, not repaired?
Can't repair without parts. You can't get parts without salvage.
What about building new parts?
Yeah, I mean, what factory? Look, everyone wants to spot bugs, but no one wants to write code. You got a better way to run a city? Go out and build one. Otherwise, get with the program.
Get with the program. I'm gonna say that to people too now. That just, you know, don't have the same view as Arya. But it's a valid point, you know. You do need parts in order to repair robots. But it's still kind of cruel, or it sounds cruel if you know, think about it in terms of humans. How he's just saying, you know, no, we didn't try to help them, we just salvaged all the parts. Okay,
When will
let's
the
ask
bridge be
this.
passable? Soon?
So I'd say something on the order of a month, give or take.
A month?
Give or take.
And there's no other way off Main Street?
Not unless you got a jetpack hiding under that jacket.
Well, at least that narrows our options down, boss.
Okay, so we can walk this way. Ever.
You mentioned
Let's talk about
Metromine.
Metromine.
Yeah, sure. She's in charge of this big circuit board we call Metropol.
What can you tell me about her?
What do I look like? The information kiosk? I want to know what I think. Metromine is the best thing that ever happened in this place.
Really?
Really? You, me, all these other machines grinding about? We're just tools in the toolbox. But Metromine, she's got the master plan. Progress. Got a nice ring to it, too.
So as part of the master plan, crashing buses into roads?
Look, there's plenty of rust to go around, but Metromine's the only one scrubbing. Not her fault that some of the metal's too far gone.
It looks to me like you're the one scrubbing, not Metromine.
Like I said, I'm just a tool in the box. Now, I gotta get back to work.
Okay, that's interesting, you know? That's, I think, the first person we found that talked about Metromine positively, or in a positive way.
You again? What do you want?
He's already fed up with our shit, you know? Asking all the questions.
Since you're so close to her, do you know how I can talk to Metromine?
Ha! Talk to Metromine. Look, Metromine has an entire city to run. But
So?
Horizon is everywhere. If she wants to talk to you, she will.
Nice. That sounds not at all disconcerting. Okay,
I'm
let's
looking
say
for a big robot. It floats and has big claws and shoots
Like he's
lasers.
already said like
It
10 times by
Scraper.
now.
After the last big
Hey,
cave-in,
some
the two
scraper.
of us worked together on trying to fix the blue line. It's on the simple side, but a hard worker. What about him?
He took something of mine.
Yeah, salvaged it probably. That's what most of us do for Metromine these days.
Stole it.
Hey, you say router, I say router. Anyway, not my problem.
I think I would say Ruder, but that's just because that's how you pronounce it in German. I'm okay with both.
Where can I find Scraper?
Do I look like a tour guide?
A little.
Piece of advice for you. Don't mess with the code if you can't handle the glitches.
Very
Whatever is
profound.
that supposed to mean? What is the code and who is the glitch?
Do you know where I can find a power source?
If I did, I'd have salvaged it myself and brought it to the tower.
Goodbye.
Nice. Okay, so one more thing before we end this episode. What's actually kind of fun. So, if you heard, or if you paid attention, which I hope you did, he called this a herring bus, and it's red. So it's...
Sometimes I think to myself, maybe you should be in charge.
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah. See? Okay, so but this is a red herring boss, so it's kind of... You know, the developers also talked about it in the commentary that this is like something where normally in video games you would be like, okay, I need to do something for this dude so he can repair this, or, you know, just take it apart so I can walk to the other side, or, you know, get new missions and everything, new places to go to. But this is a red herring in that sense that you're never gonna get there. This will be here the whole game. It's never gonna be repaired or taken apart. It's kind of fun, you know, little fun fact on the side. But that is where we're gonna end this episode. I hope you had fun, and I'll hope to see you again next time. Thanks for watching, bye!